Today's video is going to be a recreation of a makeup look that I wore on an Instagram post and in a video. So many wanted to know how to do it. It is using the newer palette from Mario, Makeup by Mario. It is a sold out palette. It does say notify me through email when back in stock. Not sure if it's coming back in stock, but many of you already have the palette, and maybe some of you got it for Christmas or Hanukkah, whatever, and you would like to know how to use it in different ways. So that is what we're going to be doing in today's video, but because it is still the holidays, I wanted to make you aware of what will probably be City Beauty's last sale. Don't hold me to that, but it is the last sale that I am aware of, and that will be from December 12th until December 18th, 35% off site-wide. So that means that if you love the City Beauty glosses, you can get 35% off of them, buy for yourself or as a stocking stuffer. And I know that their San Diego and their Crystal Clear is their most popular. They have several shades though, and they also come in gloss and matte. You can also get the mascara or any skincare products you like. Now for me, I use and have done many videos using this, the multi-action sculpting cream. I love to use along my jawline. I do mix a little bit of the ultra firming dry oil. It's for your neck and décolleté, and then I use my gua sha. I've done many videos using this. I use this mostly along the jawline. I am at a point that I will do anything for the lower half of my face because it is where I'm showing most of my age. So, which I'm okay with, but I still want to look the best I possibly can look. And on my body, I've talked about this over and over and over again. I use this on my shins, and I'm going to start using a combination. I do use both of these. This is the Body Sculpt Firming Complex and the Invisi Crepe Body Balm. I use those on my upper arm. I'm noticing with all my weight loss, this is where I'm starting to show a little bit of that crinkly, jiggly old lady skin, which I am also all right with. But again, if I can help it to look better, I'm going to try. So I'm going to start using this underneath the arms as well. But you can use it, the 35% can be used on this or anything else that you love from City Beauty. And again, that sale runs from 12/12 through 12/18, 35% off site-wide, and the code is Tammy. Everything that I just shared with you here will be listed and linked below for you, so just hit show more and it will open up. So let's get going with this tutorial. Okay, because the Mario palette has a lot of glitter in one of the shadows that I'm going to be using, I buy these shadow shields, the original they're called. I just emptied the box, but I usually buy 3 or 4 boxes at a time. And when I'm using a palette that has a lot of fallout, I will go ahead and put this down because, especially if it has glitter, which I don't wear a lot of, but sometimes it's okay because the holidays call for a little bling bling. But these really do help. And then when you peel them off, you don't have little glitter chunks that you're going to have to mix in with your concealer, okay? All right, first step, I'm going to prime my eyelids, and I'm just using the Milani eyeshadow primer. You can use any primer that you like. It does not matter. If you have more darkness or redness or veininess around your eyes that you like to cover up, you can use Painterly or something like that, but I'm just going to use this one, and it's just to help the glitter stay in place. You can also use a mixing medium or a product that's specifically used for catching glitter. They really do make a difference. I've never used one. I suppose I should try one. I just don't want to not be able to get the glitter off easily. You know how you put glitter nail polish on and you just can't get it off? I don't want that with a glitter eyeshadow. Okay, so I have primed my lid. It's a little bit warm up here, so we're just going to put the fan on us for a second. And I'm going to show you this beautiful palette. It really is gorgeous. It has beautiful, beautiful colors to it. It does have 4 high glitter shadows to it. All of the rest are pretty much matte. There is one that has, well, there's 2 that are, well, 3 actually, that are more of a satin finish. This one has a lot of glitter to it, and this one has a lot of glitter to it. The rest are all matte. They are beautiful, beautiful shadows. I'll just hold them up here for you to see. And it's a really good combination of colors. It has, you know, like if you really are warm tones, it has plenty that you can use, the neutral tones. It's really a beautiful palette. So I'm going in first with my Fit Glow Beauty pencil, and this is in bronze. And I'm going to just start with a line across my lid as close to the lashes as I can. And you can do this many ways. You can lay it on its side and drag it. You want to go right to your inner eye with a thin line. You don't want it real thick in there. And then I'm going to just drag it across my lid. And because I'm older, my lid is a little more on the wrinkly side, so it takes a little bit more patience and time. And then on the end, I'm going to follow the tape line, okay? So I'm following the tape line right out. You want to keep it very narrow on the outer part. You don't want to extend it too far there, so you want to stay right next to the tape. And first, apply the line so you get the pattern of the way you want to go. And then we do want to start right about here and thicken that slightly, but not to the inner eye. So it's right about the half point. I'm making that line thinner right through here. And then we're just going to make this just a little bit thicker. But you want it so it's thinner and goes thicker until you get right to the actual wing. And then you want that to be narrow. Okay, so you're just going in, building that up, and take your time. Work in small sections, it's a lot easier. And then again, you just want a thin line from your inner corner all the way to where it starts to get wider. So this is what we're looking like. And right now, it really won't look like much until you take it off. And you probably would not be able to achieve that wing free-handed unless you're really good with a wing. Because as our eye ages, it kind of gets wrinkly towards the outer edge. You either have to hold it, but the tape is just a wonderful guideline. And as I mentioned before, I have been doing this for years, and I think on my face, my eyes have the least amount of wrinkles. I know that people are going to disagree with me here. I'm not one that believes just because you're a little firmer with your face that you're going to wrinkle it. I mean, we wrinkle because our face, we do the same movements over and over and over and over again. Rubbing on your face, I just don't, it's never been my belief that I'm creating more wrinkles, but that's just me. So I'm going to do the same thing on this eye, and I'll be right back. So this is what it will look like. Okay, so you've extended it out as long as you want. I like to make a slight angle so it goes up. I don't really go straight out with the tape because I don't need to widen it. I want to lift. You can even angle it up even further if you would like a shorter wing. All right, but I want, for this look, I want a little more dramatic because it is the holidays. And I feel that using a brown liner for me, a bronze brown, is much better. It's not as harsh as black. Some people can get away with black. Some of us, black is going to be much too harsh. So you will have to be the judge of that. But if you want to plan, you can also do this with a navy. You can do it with a plum. You can do it with any color you like. But for this combination that I'm doing, the bronze works really, really well. So now we're going to go in with a 204 smudging brush from BK Beauty. And I'm just going to soften and kind of just spread that lightly just to soften that edge there. I'm not really taking anything away, just softening and giving like a shadow to the liner. So it's just a very soft blend on the liner. So now we're going to go in with our palette from Mario. And I'm first going to go in with this light shade right here. So I'm going to go in with my REPHR 33 brush. It's a rather large brush, so if you have difficulty with application already, try to find a flat, smaller brush that you might have in your collection. If you have the REPHR 2 brush, that would also be good. But I'm going to work on the upper part of the eye, so I'm just going to go in, pick up some of that color, and I just want to tap that on. And I'm actually going to move it all the way down. When you're applying, you want to make sure that you're careful when you get to where your liner begins. And remember, always working up, right up and over the tape, but don't go over your liner where you have it, okay? So we're just filling in, and this is what we look like. Let me do the other side. Now I'm going in with a REPHR number 1. This is my most favorite brush to use in the crease area, sometimes just the lid area. I'd have to say that this is probably my most favorite REPHR brush that I own. I have probably 8 of them. I love them so much. So now I'm going to go in with this pink. It's a really pretty color. And I'm just going to work it into the fibers of the brush. And now I don't want to go anywhere near my eyeliner, but I want to start right about here, and I'm going to build this shadow up, and I'm going to intensify the color at first so you can see the placement of it. Okay, so that's where I've placed it. I'll go in with a REPHR 15 brush, and I'm going to soften that line, blend that shadow down, not adding any more, just working with what I have. And that will just help to create a lift for me. I'm going to do the same thing on the other eye. And I'm just going to keep applying until I get it where I want. So I'm just going to add a little bit more right here. And I'm lifting up. Go in with the 15. And we're just going to blend that color and soften the edge of it. Okay, so this is what we're looking at right now. So I've just created an illusion of having some depth and some lift to the eye. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other eye, and I'll be right back. So now I'm going to go in with the REPHR 13 brush. It's a very small blending brush. I'm going to pick up some of that pink that I was just using. Okay, and now I'm just going to focus that right here. I'm going as close to the edge as I can without touching the liner. And then just in the crease. And then I just kind of swirl it around a little bit just to blend it nicely. And that's what we're looking at so far. I'll go in with the 15 and I just do a little bit of a cleanup. Okay. So now we're going to work with this color right here, and this one has a lot of glitter. Don't use a brush unless you dampen the brush. I'm going to first tap on with my finger, then I will go in and wet a brush, and the type of brush I'm going to use is the 26 from REPHR. It's a pointed dome brush so that I can get exactly where I want with that point, and the way I'm going to wet it is just by using some of my setting spray. So I'm going in with my finger, picking up some of that color. It doesn't pick up much. And then I want to tap it where I'm going to actually apply it, which is going to be the lid where there is no color and no liner. Now you may get some over the liner, that's okay. We're going to go in and clean it up. But I just want to lay it down so you see exactly where you're going to go before we wet the brush. So don't worry if it's getting on the lid area. It actually will look pretty, but you don't want it on the outer part of the eye at all. All right, so now I'm going to go in with this REPHR brush pointed, and I'm just going to spray it. Spray the back of your hand, work the brush in, and then we're going to just pick up some of that glitter. Now when you wet the brush, it's easier to apply, but it also brings out a gorgeous sheen. It really does. So now I'm going to just place that. Notice I'm tapping it on. And I'm not going on the liner. I'm going to turn the brush around so I can place some shadow exactly where I want. And I'm going to go all the way to the inner eye with this, just where the crease starts, and press it on. Okay, so you can see how that's looking. Same thing on the other eye. If you don't want your brush soaking wet. You just want it damp, and spray your hand and then run the brush around it, and it really does make a difference. So we're just going to tap that on. We're not not sweeping it on, I'm tapping it on to place it, turning the brush around, and then after I've placed it, you can give it a little bit of a sweep, and it really brings out the gloss. And I'm going to put a little bit more on and just put some right here. Tap it on. It really is beautiful. Use that tip to your advantage. Get exactly where you want. All right, I'm just going to pick up a little bit more and tap it right here. All right, so that is what we're looking at. It's so beautiful, isn't it? It's really pretty. And if you work with a damp brush, you'll find that less will drop out. So now we're going to go back in with the BK Beauty Smudger brush. And this is number 204. Everyone should have one. And I'm going to go in with this dark color here. And this is where we're going to clean up our liner now. So I'm going to just take that and I'm going to smudge along, just following that line that we already created. And that is just to intensify the pencil again, or the line. And then you want to just make sure that you're smudging it out softly and then narrowing out towards the end. So I'll do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so that is the shadow over. So that's pretty much what we're going to do right now for the eyes. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this. Now you'll notice when you remove this, you won't have any glitter underneath, which really is, it does make a difference. So now you have a beautiful winged look to your eyeshadow. You just have to get your tape even, okay? So don't be afraid to use the tapes. It really does help us out. Okay, so we are going to leave the eyes for now, and I'm going to do my foundation. I'm just going in with my primer, which is the Colleen Rothschild. Now, when you are applying this, you don't want to interfere with your winged liner, so be very careful around that area. I love this primer. It's not only a primer, it's skincare. I love it, though. I just love it. I buy it all the time. Okay, so in that video, I was wearing the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation mixed with the Chanel highlighter, and I just love it. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So I have my little glass block. I'm going to put 2 pumps of the NARS foundation, and I'm going to put 1 pump of the Chanel highlighter. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to mix those up, and then I'm going to pause for a moment because I forgot to dampen my sponge. So I will be right back. Okay, so we are back. I'm just going to continue to mix that. I'm putting most of it on the center of my face. I may have to mix some more up. We'll see how far this takes me. I'm going to wipe the rest of it up. And my sponge is the Sonja Kashuk, and it is damp, most of the moisture squeezed out of it. And I'm just going to go and pounce over. Again, you wear as much or as little foundation as you like. I just like it to even up my skin tone. Be very careful when you get to the edge. You don't want to disturb that wing. And it's easy to do because we just forget it's there because we don't wear it that often. Well, some of us do, but I don't. I do think when you create a beautiful wing and you have a couple of eyelashes, false eyelashes on the edge, I do think it's a beautiful look. I like an old Hollywood look, and you know, that was an old Hollywood look, and I don't understand why it can't still be a look for women who want to have that look. I think you can do whatever you want as long as you feel comfortable and you have mastered the skill. Okay, so there is the foundation. I do think it's a beautiful foundation, and I love the combination of it with the Chanel I'm almost out of this bottle. I bought a couple of them. I love them so much, and you never know when they're going to discontinue something. So this is the Les Beiges. I love it for my aging skin because it does not have glitter. It just has a beautiful glow. It is very similar to the Charlotte Tilbury. I also have that and love that, but there's something special about the Chanel, and I am not a Chanel lover. You all know that. I hardly own any Chanel makeup. But that, oh my goodness, I just fell in love with it and had to have it, so I bought it in every color. And today I'm using the Sun Kissed. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with my concealer, and I'm going to use the Dior. This is the Backstage. I'm learning to love this, but I've said it in every video that I've used it, and I'm going to say it again. It works best if you use your fingers. Warm it up in your fingers and then apply it. For some reason, it really goes on flawlessly for me then. When I try to use it in my normal application ways, I don't like it. But this one here with the fingers, I love. Now I do drag this down just to try to fill that hollow because that is where I'm aging. Notice how slow I'm going when I get here, but I want to draw that up on the side because that will help to lift the face. So taking it right up underneath the lash line, blending it up. And see, I have no glitter underneath my eyes now because I wore those shields. You can actually just put a piece of tape under if you don't want to buy the shields. And I'm just going to sweep up right up to my temple. And that brightness will also help to lift the temple out because we lose volume here and it starts to sink in. So you can also create the illusion with your concealer. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other side, and I'll be right back. Okay, so that is the concealer and drawn all the way out through the temple to help lift that area. You can also put some of it here and lift this area up. There are ways to create lifts, but we are not going to get into that right now. Okay, I'm going to go in with my powder, and I'm using the Face Atelier. This is the number 2 light. I really like this for a couple of reasons. It's a very lightweight powder, but it also has a pink hue to it. The Punjab from NARS, that's the color I wear, has a little bit of yellow. With my halo, the yellow pulls out a little much. This powder helps to neutralize, and it's not cakey looking. I really do like it. Again, this is the Face Atelier, and I believe you can use the 20% on this powder, Frisco Beauty. I think you can use Tammy 20 to get 20% off. It's just a really nice, lightweight powder, not much yellow to it, which is good for me, but it's not real pink that it shows up with a white cast. It's really a nice powder. It just sets the face nicely, and I don't feel that it's cakey at all. Just do my forehead. You don't even have to powder your whole face. You just need to powder where you're going to place a bronzer, or unless you're using cream products, then you don't have to worry about it at all. But I'm not using cream products, so I do have to take that tackiness away so that I get a flawless, smooth finish to all of the layers that I'm putting on my face. All right, so that is the powder. So now I do take a little bit of it on my sponge, and I work it in just a little bit. I want to make sure that I have no creases, and I'm just going to set over my concealer. Again, be careful of your wing so that you don't disturb it. And same thing on the other eye. That is the powder. So now I'm going to go in with the bronzer. So I'm going to go in with the Dior, and this is the 4N Neutral Dior Backstage. I'm using the 107 from BK Beauty, and I'm just going to really pick up a good amount of this bronzer. It's a very lightweight bronzer, and I'm really working it into the fibers. And then I love this brush because I can just tap this bronzer right where I want it. I want it on the higher point of my cheek. It's a nice color. Gives just enough lift, just enough color. Notice I did not take it right here because I don't want to close that in. I want to leave that brightness. Now, you don't want to look like a race stripe. So you want to make sure that you do have a soft blend there because you don't want people to see where the light and dark starts. So I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to take it over the forehead, avoiding my hair if I can. Make sure that I have it built up to where I want. Okay, so there is the bronzer. Lift it up a little bit higher, creates the illusion of a lift. Somebody actually did leave me a comment and said, what have you done to your face because your cheeks are so lifted? I really have just changed the placement of my bronzer and my blush, and I'm really focusing on putting a little bit of highlight through this area to try to broaden this out and just lift the whole area. Sometimes I put some brightener through here to really lift up the whole area, and it really does make a difference. It gives you the illusion of having a facelift. So there are, and practice, just practice doing it because it really does make a difference. So we're going to go in with our blush now, and I have to highly, highly recommend this. It's still available, I believe, and it's from Pat McGrath. This is phenomenal. It is beautiful. These are so pigmented. They are just beautiful. They buff out with a beautiful satin finish to them. It has a gorgeous highlighter. And if you didn't have the Mario palette, this highlighter would be beautiful to put on the lid. It's just exquisite. It has a nice vivid pink. It has almost like a burnt pink, and then it has a peachier pink, and then it has a peach. So you get all of the colors in here. If they match your skin tone. Just beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. I have a single one that is very red. These last all day. You will not be reapplying your blush with these. You will not. So for blush, I use a brush that is very different. I don't like your standard blush brushes. I don't like bigger blushes. I think you lose control of where the blush is going. So there's two brushes that I like for blush, and one is from BK Beauty. It's the 106. I like it because it's flatter and it's dense and it's small. Okay? I like the REPHR brush for the same reason. This is synthetic, this is real hair, so whichever you prefer to work with. This is a 37, it's small and dense. So all you need to do is tap your brush in, and you can see that it picks up just the right amount of blush. I am not swirling around, I'm not wiping, I'm just tapping in. And you just tap in until you pick up the amount you want. Now I would highly suggest just a quick tap to make sure you've worked it in. And then you don't want to push it into your face because it could be a lot of blush placement. So you just want to work in little baby pounces exactly where you want your blush. And I am telling you, these are gorgeous. They just apply beautifully, and then you can keep going back in and build it up to where you want. I like a little more blush these days, especially with my white hair. I do prefer having a little bit more. And then once you get it where you want, let me face forward so you can see how that's lifted slightly from the other side. Then I'm just going to go and sweep along with this brush. And it just brings out a beautiful glow. These are spectacular, well worth the money, my friends. Beautiful blush, because blush can look chalky on our cheeks or it can be too glittery. These are perfection. Okay, so now I'm going to finish the other side and I'll be right back. The blush is on. Absolutely beautiful. If you feel you've gotten a little carried away, you just take your powder brush and give it a light sweep just to make sure you have it blended into your whole face. Okay, so that is blush, and I do highly recommend you try one of these brushes for your application. So now I'm going to put a little bit of the highlight on, and for a highlighter I like to use a fan brush because it's very narrow. You can sweep it you can do it like a feather across your cheek because, you know, highlighter on an aging woman can make or break us. So this one here is beautiful. So I'm just going to sweep some of it on, and then I am going to tap it so that it goes into the fibers of that fan brush. Notice where I'm holding my fan brush, very down really low. And then I just sweep on the high point. Now this, I will go right up into my temple area. Now if you have a lot of wrinkles there, avoid the wrinkles, but try to give a little bit of highlight in that area because it will also help to lift the face. But look how gorgeous that is. It's so subtle that it's doable. It really is. And the more you buff, the prettier it gets. So that is a gorgeous, gorgeous highlight. Same thing on the other side. Okay, so now I'm just going to take my powder brush and I'm just going to buff a little bit over the highlight to make sure I don't have a racing stripe on my face. These little things are important for us aging women because not only is our skin changing, but our eyesight is changing. So just take that extra step to make sure you have a beautifully blended look, okay? But you don't want to blend so much that you're creating mud. All right, so now I need to just touch up my eyebrows slightly, and I'm going to go in with, this is the brunette from, it's a tinted, because if you look at my eyebrows, a lot of them are white. I'm just going to go in, and I'm going to take the tip of this brush, and I'm just going to sweep it over all of my brows. And I am touching my skin in the brow area only because I'm using the tip. I just go back and forth because my eyebrows have darkened. They've gotten almost black. So I don't like them that way. I do like them with a little more, I like them softer, a little more brown looking. So that, you can see it has really created a nice brow without being too much. Because sometimes when I draw it on, I look and I'm like, oh, you look mad and you look angry. So I find that this works best for me. So I'm going to do the other side and be right back. Okay, so now I just need to finish underneath my eyes. So I'm going to go back in with the Mario palette. And I am going to use a flat brush. This is a number 2. I'm going to go in with the first color that we used. And I am just going to create a shadow underneath my eye with that. Very carefully going next to my winged liner. And you'll notice it brightens the eye up a little bit. So I'm just using a little bit of that. And now I want to go in with that pink that I used. And I'm going to tap a lot of that in there because I just want like a hue of this underneath the eye. So now I'm going to go back in with that mulberry. And I want a tight line and I want to do my waterline. So the waterline, I'm going to hold my lash down and you'll notice I'm rubbing right up against the lashes first. And I'm going right in, joining right into the inner and outer of my eye. So you can see what that looks like now. And I'm going to fill in the waterline. And I want to join it right to the wing. So that's what we're looking at. Same thing on the other eye. I'm going to take that brush I was using. I'm just going to soften that line slightly. Okay, and then I'm going to tight line the top, but I have to look in my mirror for this, so I'll be right back. Okay, so I did the tight line. When you tight line, all you're doing is lifting your eye up and you want to go as close to the lashes as you can, almost like you're trying to fill in between each one. And then you just do that ridge. You just, fill that in. All it does is add depth. It gives you a very smoky, sultry, romantic look to your eye. So now, if you wear false eyelashes, of course you want lashes that really extend outward to work with your wing, but I don't wear false eyelashes. So first I'm going to go ahead and just make sure that I have swept everything off. Now I do have a little bit of glitter on, but it's okay. It's just tiny little pieces. It's not a whole lot. So I'm okay with that. So what I'm going to do now is my mascara. And the mascara I was wearing is the Essence Lash. I can't seem to get away from this. And I just went to Ulta and it was buy 2, get 1 free. And so I bought another one of this and then I had tried 2 more from theirs, which I haven't tried yet. But I got 2 and 1 free. But this is a very good mascara. So I'm going to go ahead and apply my mascara and my lips. Of course, I'll share my lips when I come back. I'm going to get dressed, do my hair, and then I'll come back with the finished look. All right, my friends, so I'll be right back. All right, I came back before I go downstairs and change and everything because I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this lipstick on, but I wanted to show you this combination. Unfortunately, this is a pricier lip liner, but they are beautiful. And this is from House of Sillage, and this is Nicole's Nude. It is beautiful. It really is. And I have it paired with, look how gorgeous that is. Beautiful, beautiful pencil. And the formula is beautiful. And I have it paired with Christian Audette. And this is the Ms. Mistletoe. Now, I broke mine, and but I still love it. And I use them together. And I do the same thing with this one. I fill the line in a little bit on the outer part. I smudge it slightly over my lips so that they blend well together, because I do not like a real definite line, but I like just enough to give the illusion. So this is a beautiful, beautiful combination. Right, but I may come back with red lipstick on. I don't know. But I wanted you to see how beautiful this combination looks. Okay? I may have this on, depending on if I put black on or red on. I may not wear the red top. I may just show it to you, because this eye is so bold within itself that putting on a really bold red lip color they kind of clash, okay? They take up too much space on their own, so I may just leave this look on. But I'll be right back. All right, I am back with the finished look. I decided to stay with a black top. This is really a cute top. I bought this at Chico's. The t-shirt actually lends itself to being dressy or casual. It has puffy sleeves, which I thought are really pretty, and the sleeves are cotton, and then the top is more like a knit t-shirt feel to it. It buttons. If I stand up, it's going to blur out on me. I'll try to stand up and keep my eyes in the frame. It buttons down the center, but only halfway. It doesn't go all the way. And then it comes down to almost the top of your thighs. So if you're someone who really likes wearing a longer t-shirt, this is really, really cute. And the collar part of it is cotton. And then it's cotton down here. It's really, really pretty. I'll link it below so you can go and look at it. I believe online they only show it in teal. In store it is in black. I couldn't find it online in black. In store I bought black, but they also have teal online, which is really pretty. And then this shirt, which I may have already worn in a video, I wanted to share with you anyway. This is the red one. Look at the sleeves of that top. It is absolutely stunning, my friends. So beautiful. And this is the top that I was going to have on, but the lipstick doesn't really go. I would probably wear a more subdued eye with this and a strong lip, because it is just so beautiful. So that is it for today's recreation video using the Mario palette. Now, it is not available. If you have other shades that are very similar to this, you can create this look. You can also create it using other colors. It doesn't have to be the pinky rosy that I chose. And practice, practice, practice. You can do this, my friends. You can do this. Try it out before your special event and practice a little, and you will get this. And remember, you can use tape down below if you don't want to order the shield. That really helps prevent the glitter from falling all over your face. All right, so if you haven't already subscribed, I would love to have you as an ageless beauty, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And right next to it is a bell that'll let you know of all the videos that I'm putting up. And don't forget that City Beauty is having that sale that I told you about in the beginning, 12/12 through 12/18, 35% off site-wide, so you can take advantage and get all of your favorites from City Beauty. All right, my friends, until the next time, go out in the world, be lovable, and remember, it is okay to love our age. I love you all. Bisous.